Hey, what's good, everybody? It's Kellzhits here from YouTube. If you are new here, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment of your choice. If you're returning, welcome back. We're here today for another official video. We got a lot of games in the NBA today, a large slate of games, so let's get straight into it. Up first, we have the Washington Wizards versus the Charlotte Hornets. The spread here is at -4.5, and the over-under here is set at 217.5. We got two of the worst teams going against each other, ladies and gentlemen. This will be either fun or ugly. We got the Washington Wizards have finally just ended a 17-game losing streak after winning by 2 points against the Minnesota Timberwolves. At a point, it got to a point where it was like, don't be that team, and Minnesota as 15.5 favorites at home became that team and was that team. But now that the losing streak is over, you don't have to worry about being that team. On the other end, you have the Charlotte Hornets, who are on a 4-game losing streak. And actually, the Washington Wizards have won. The Wizards have won 2 out of the 4 games between these two. So this is the third game out of the 4 games that they'll be playing. I think that the Charlotte Hornets are looking and are fiending to get a win here at home against the Washington Wizards and win, period, going into the All-Star break. I don't believe that the Washington Wizards game, that win was any type of spark or any type of way to get going for the season. I think it was just a fluke win as they needed a win, period. Give me the Charlotte Hornets as they beat the Washington Wizards for the first time this year at home, -4.5. Next up, we have the Detroit Pistons versus the Atlanta Hawks. The spread here is at -3.5, and the over-under here is set at 236.5. The Hawks are on an 8-game losing streak, ladies and gentlemen. An 8-game losing streak. Like, an 8-game losing streak. Like, the Atlanta Hawks was just when they was just with Trey Young and Jalen Johnson was just clicking, was just looking really good, was just untouchables in the league. But I don't think they're untouchables anymore. Well, I still think Trey Young is, but not so much as Jalen Johnson, even though he has a season-long injury. I think they're going to use him as a corner piece for the long term, but I don't think he's untouchable. Does that make sense? On the other end, you have the Detroit Pistons, who are going to be looking up to pick up their back-to-back win. They just got done beating the Dallas Mavericks at home with Cade Cunningham's 40-point victory. So they're looking to win their second straight here at home, which I do think that they are going to do. I think the Detroit Pistons are better than the Atlanta Hawks right now. I think the Hawks are potentially going to lose 10 straight before they get back on track leading into this All-Star break. Give me the Detroit Pistons -3.5 here at home following Cade's 40-point night. I think Cade's going to have another big night, and I think the Pistons are going to be rolling here. Next game up, give me the Houston Rockets versus the New York Knicks. The spread here is at -5.5, and the over-under here is set at 223.5. The Rockets are on a back-to-back losses after winning 5 straight or going for their 6th straight. They're 2 out of their last 5. And their last 2 losses is against the Nets. One of the losses against the Nets, and after it was a blowout loss too, which is just very, very concerning. After I thought that they was going to be rolling, especially at home, and they were winning their home games and they were on a streak. You're supposed to be rolling and blow out the Nets, so that's sad. The Knicks, on the other hand, are 4 out of their last 5, but got blown out and got killed at home versus the Lakers, and they were like -10.5 favorites, and they were on a win streak as well and got killed. But I also believe that has something to do with that Lakers trade and LeBron and AD knowing that this is their last game together. I believe that the Knicks are going to bounce back here at home and get back on a home win streak. Give me the Knicks at home here, -5.5. Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs versus the Memphis Grizzlies. We got the spread here is at -5.5, and the over-under here is at 242.5. The Spurs, the San Antonio Spurs, ladies and gentlemen, has just gotten better immediately. The Spurs just got done trading for De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox and Wemby is going to be special in San Antonio. These projects are going to be special. The lobs, the speed, and De'Aaron Fox is at his prime too. So he's young with Wemby, young enter, and Wemby is entering his prime as he's already. I believe he's going to be an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year for at least the next 2 years, starting next year after SGA wins the MVP this year. So it's a whole new team to worry about and look at. So I can't judge them off their last wins because they're new. On the other end, you have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 4 out of their last 5 and have been rolling. Besides their blowout victory, besides their blowout loss at New York, The Memphis Grizzlies have been one of the top teams in the West and have been rolling and been killing everybody as well. I believe that the Spurs have beat the Spurs both times on the road this year and are returning home this year. And until the Spurs get back on track, I would not trust them because they are a brand new team. Give me the Grizzlies at home here, -5.5, as the Grizzlies get back on track and get to a nice little win streak. I think they're going to win two in a row here. Next up, we have the Sacramento Kings versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. The spread here is at -4.5, and the over-under here is set at 221.5. Now, the spread here before the trade was at -1.5. Right after the trade, the spread jumped all the way to 4.5. That's because the Sacramento Kings are now a new team. The Sacramento Kings have just got done acquiring Zach LaVine to pair back up with DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, and Keegan Murray in the crew. De'Aaron Fox has just left, who was their all-star point, was their centerpiece and all-star point guard in Sacramento. He has left and headed to San Antonio with Wemby in San Antonio. So the Kings are a brand new team, and until we see what they are and how good they look, wouldn't trust them. The Timberwolves, on the other hand, have just got done being that team who lost as -15.5 favorites at home to the Washington Wizards. It's a shame because the Minnesota Timberwolves were looking like they were about to go on like a 5-6 game win streak, and then boom, lay out a nutshell at home versus the Washington Wizards as huge favorites. Man, I think the Timberwolves are going to bounce back here after their loss to the Washington Wizards. And until Sacramento gets on track as a team and gel together, give me the Minnesota Timberwolves to take care of the spread and business here at home, -4.5. Next game up, we have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. The spread here is at -9.5, and the over-under here is set at 233.5. The Bucks are currently on a 3-game losing streak. 3-game losing streak. So they have lost to two of the top worst teams in the NBA over that 3-game losing streak. So I know that locker room is a little ugly right now, and they're looking at each other a little funny, like we need to get back on track on the other end. But also the Bucks have beat the Thunder by 20 this year on the road. So the Thunder are going to remember that. The Thunder have been on and off over the last 5 games. It's been win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. It's been really annoying and been really hard to call and tell what direction they're going in, even though they're one of the top teams in the West, and SGA is going to win MVP and leading an MVP who I believe is the MVP and well deserving. But as far as a team, I still think that they need another piece, or they need another trade, or they need something to make them a complete team in the West with SGA. Nonetheless, even though that the Thunder lost to the Bucks, I believe last game, I believe that the Thunder are going to bounce back here, which is why the spread's so high. Give me the Thunder -9.5 here at home. Next up, we have the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Denver Nuggets. The spread here is at -11.5, and the over-under here is spread set at 239.5. The Pelicans have now lost 5 in a row. Even though Trey Murphy had 40 points in their last win, it wasn't enough, and it's never going to be enough. Trey Murphy is not a star in this league, but 40 points is nice for him in his career high. But like I said, 5 in a row, it's never going to be enough, especially if you don't have Zion dominating or Zion there looking like he's supposed to be the number one pick that he always was. The Denver Nuggets, on the other end, they have looking to end their road streak. They've been on the road for the last 5 games in a row, so you can best believe they are happy to come back home here, be back in front of their home fans here. And the series is split right now at 1-1, so I expect the Denver Nuggets to go ahead and take the lead in this series and go ahead and return home here and have a good game at home in front of their fans after their road skid. Give me the Denver Nuggets -11.5 here at home. Next game up, we have the Indiana Pacers versus the Utah Jazz. The Indiana Pacers are looking to pick up their 7th straight road victory, and they are also looking up to pick up their 4th straight win in a row. The Indiana Pacers have been rolling, ladies and gentlemen. They look really good, whether if it's on the road or at home. They are winning right now. On the other end, the Utah Jazz are 1 out of their last 5. They've just been getting killed left and right, up by double digits. They just got done beating the Orlando Magic, but I believe it was a fluke victory, unfortunately. I believe that the Utah Jazz are not getting on track no time soon, especially leading into this All-Star break. Give me the Indiana Pacers on a road here to pick up their eighth straight road victory and their fifth straight win. Pacers rolling. Next up, we have the Orlando Magic versus the Golden State Warriors. The spread here is at -2.5, and the over-under here is at 213.5. The Magic are currently on a three-game losing streak and can't figure it out right now with Paolo Banchero's return. They really haven't been gelling since the return, even though he's still an all-star in my eyes. They still haven't gelled together with him, but they are a very young and a growing team. They just got done losing to two of the worst teams as well, which is Portland and Utah. On the other end, the Golden State Warriors are three out of their last five victories. As when Steph Curry plays and they are rolling, they look good. When Steph Curry doesn't play, they just look terrible. I believe that they just got done getting killed at home as favorites against the Phoenix Suns. They just got lost by 30. So I know that's very, very ugly on their skin and on their team right now. I believe that it's going to be a bounce back and a win for the Warriors, but both these teams don't score a lot of points and they don't get up and down as fast as they should. Give me the under 213.5. Next and last game of the night, give me the Phoenix Suns versus the Portland Trailblazers. The Phoenix Suns are -4.5 favorites here, and the spread is at 4.5. Phoenix Suns are 4.5 favorites, and the over under here is at 230.5. Now, this is the fourth and the last game between these two teams, as they have played each other now three times already. The Portland Trailblazers blew out the Phoenix Suns their last game actually at home, and they're looking to tie this series as the Phoenix Suns has a 2-1 lead in this series when the Suns have won both their games at home, and now Portland is trying to look both their games at home. I believe that Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and the crew, they didn't like getting blown out, and I think that they're actually going to bounce back and win this game on the road to go 3-1 and put Portland to bed. I believe that Portland's going to start fast but end up losing in the end. Give me the over 230.5 here, as Portland and Phoenix don't play no defense at all. This is going to be easily in the 240s, 250s. This is going to be a high scoring affair. Again, if you are new here, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment of your choice. I appreciate all comments. If you're returning, thank you again for watching. I'll be back soon.